Okay, hey crafters, crocheters, knitters, and yarn enthusiasts. Are you guys ready to do the next spider stitch blanket? That's the one hanging behind me. Hi, my name is Jenny. Welcome to Granny Square Peg. It is a channel where I'm going through my yarn stash, my project pile, and evidently some mental health issues. I'm sorry if I'm oversharing in that department, but it is an everyday thing for me, so it does come out in my videos sometimes. All right, so this blanket behind me, I had started it in November 2017, and I found pictures in my computer where it wasn't finished in the spring and summer of 2018. So it's still not finished. When I was cleaning up my project pile sometime in 2019, I'd come across this blanket and I had wrote myself a note. I tied my note to a yarn tail on the blanket and said, do I want to add more yarn to this? Do I want to make it bigger and taller? So here it is in July 2023, and I'm now just figuring out what I plan on doing with this blanket. I did finish it at that last row, and now I'm going to put a border on it. Now, with all of my spider stitch blankets so far, the pink and white one, it doesn't have a border. The orange and cream one doesn't have a border. The blue and gray one I made for my nephew, that didn't have a border on it. This one doesn't, but I'm going to put a border on it. I actually went out to the craft store to find some yarn to hopefully match some of the colors in it. All right, so let me take you guys down. I'm going to show you the blanket a little closer. Okay, so on my bookshelf, as usual, it is size-wise. Let's see. We are 41 inches wide, so that's left and right. And then 49 inches tall, so that's top to bottom, okay? So 41 by 49. All right, there are 7 balls of yarn that are 7 different colors. And you can see my overall theme is that soft white, creamy white, off-white is the common color, okay? But still done in the spider stitch, where you have a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch, and then when you come back on rows 2, 3, 4, 5, and all the way through the rest of the blanket, all your stitches are made in the chain 1 space, and it creates this texture, which is awesome, right? So the yarn is Premier Sweet Rolls, and I'll give you the details when I take it down off the bookshelf. See, because I have it hanging on a hook, so I don't like to leave it there for too long. This is where it's been folded in the project pile, so that will come out. This little creasing, it will come out when I throw it in the washer. All right, there we go. All right, let's take it down and talk some details. Oh, isn't that so pretty to look at that? Okay, so I sat with it and I did a whole bunch of notes yesterday. I do have 7 different colors. My initial starting chain, I counted the chain last night. It was 122 plus 2. So I think 2 videos ago when I gave you guys my multiple of 15, I think that's wrong. I think it has to be an even number. I don't know. I'm still working on it in the background, trying to figure it out, because I did screw up my initial starting chain. So if you guys have to add more or take more away, I understand. When I do this, I do it just by the seat of my pants sometimes. And my notes, I don't always fix my notes. So here's my initial starting chain, right? So 122 plus 2. I didn't do a row of single crochet, and I bounced back and forth between the two. Some people go straight into the pattern. So there you see the spider stitch is done in the chain. It turns out I really like to do 1 row of single crochet and then on row 2 start the pattern, because I like the more firmness and the structure of a single crochet row. It just, To me, it makes the blanket feel, I don't know, stronger, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So for whatever reason, I didn't do it on this blanket because I bounced back and forth between putting the single crochet row in there and not. All right, so here is the first ball of yarn. All right, so, oh, right, yarn. It is called Premier Sweet Rolls, and you remember when Karen Cakes came out, right? Well, all the other yarn companies started making cake yarn. So this is the label that was on it back in the day. So it says Premier Yarns, and it's Sweet Roll, and it is cake yarn. It is a number 4 medium worsted weight. It is 100% acrylic. I don't have the yarn labels for this blanket. The yarn label I just showed you goes to this. All of this I did in a Jacob's Ladder, and these were all my leftovers. So I have yarn labels for the Sweet Roll in here. Because what I did was I bought one of every single color that they made. And it took me about a year to collect all the colors. So this first block is the chain and 21.5 rows. So it goes from this to somewhere around here, okay, before I had changed to the next cake of yarn. So the next one, this is called Peaches and Cream, and you can tell with that pink color and that peach color and that cream color. For some reason, this ball of yarn wound up smaller than the others, and I only got 16.5 rows out of it. Now they still make the Peaches and Cream, but these other colors, I could not find a name for them. They just don't make them anymore. This brown and blue one, it was called Cappuccino, but as far as I can tell, they don't make it anymore. And then this peach and brown, I couldn't find this anywhere on their website. This one, I couldn't find this one either. Let's see, the blue, the purple, the cream, nope, couldn't find that one. But this one here is called Birthday Cake. Birthday Cake, yeah. So out of the 7 balls of yarn that I used, or the 7 cakes of yarn, 2 of them they still make, which is the Peaches and Cream pop and the Birthday Cake pop. I know this one's Cappuccino because I actually found it on a listing, you know, on Etsy or eBay, and they had named it. That's how I know what it was. But those other 4 colors, I have no idea what they are. Okay, yeah, I was telling you how many rows I got out of there. I know, I'm all over the place today. 21.5 rows. This one only gave me 16.5. This one gave me, what did I get out of that? 23 rows out of the brown and the blue. I got 23 rows out of that. Let's see. This one, I got 20 rows. This one, I got 21 rows. This one, I got 20 rows out of it. And then this one, I've got 22 rows. So I have a total of 144 rows. No first row of single crochets, no last row of single crochets. I know I said the pink and white one was my favorite, but seriously, I'm thinking this one is, because, you know, I love lots of colors. And the Premier Sweet Rolls, as cake yarn, they gave me a lot of color stripes. I mean, are they really color blocks because they're kind of small? But it did this self-striping thing, and it gave me lots of stripes. It was more than 2 rows per stripe, you know? Like this one here is 4 rows. So I really like that. So it's like a mini color block, but it's more than just 2 rows of stripes, you know? So of course, you know, that beige, the tan, the creamy white, the off-white, the soft white is the color that connected all of them. Isn't that pretty? And again, this is what the edges look like. You know, chain 2 and turn. The last stitch being a single crochet, you chain 2 and you turn. Gives you lots of texture. Now when I go to do the border on this, I will work into the chain 2 space that turns, but not in the single crochets. I will do a single crochet in the chain 2. I will chain 1 and I will skip this single crochet, and then I will do a single crochet in the chain 2, chain 1, skip, and that will be my first round of the border. Ooh, that would make a pretty thumbnail. Well, let's stop and take a picture of that real quick. Okay, so what do you guys think of the spider stitch with long color changes, self-striping yarn that's in a cake form? I love it. Oh, that's upside down. I think it's absolutely adorable. And if to everybody who's new here, and to all of you who have been here since the beginning, you know I love color. I love lots of color changes. So this really speaks to me, more so than just a big chunk of color in the color blocks that I do, because I do get bored doing color blocks, even if it's only 15 rows of the same color, or 18 rows, or 20 rows. I do get bored, you know. So this really speaks to my heart of hearts. So I really like this one. So Premier Sweet Rolls, they still make the yarn today. A lot of the colors have been discontinued. A lot of the colors are still the same. So you won't find an exact color match, except for the birthday cake and the peaches and cream. The cakes are 5 ounces of yarn. So with 7 cakes of yarn here, you'd think 7 cakes times 5 ounces is what, 35 ounces of yarn? I put this on my scale and it came in at 29 ounces, which means a few of my cakes were a little less than 5 ounces. So, you know, I wish the yarn companies were a little bit more consistent with that. So I really love the texture of the spider stitch. I think it's fantastic. Is it perfect for every blanket? No, but almost. And if you use a big enough hook, you can get a lot of drape with it and won't be super stiff, right? Okay, so I wanted to stay with the Premier Sweet Rolls to do the border, but when I bought the Sweet Rolls, they were being sold at AC Moore, which was a craft store here on the East Coast of the United States. But AC Moore closed down, I don't know, sometime around 2020. They shut all their stores, but I was still getting Sweet Rolls at Joann's. Okay, so when I went out just the other day, I went to Michael's, and you know, off chance they might have had some cake yarn that might have worked for me, but they didn't. My Michael's, for some reason, it looks like their yarn section is getting smaller and smaller. I don't know why. It looks like maybe they're switching over to more of their own store brand and not other brands. Maybe. If anybody knows about Michael's, what's going on with them, let me know. So I went to Joann's. Joann's no longer sells the Premier Sweet Rolls in the store. And then I went to the internet, and of course, you know, I couldn't find any colors that I really liked. Although they have one called Cinnamon Pop, and it's darker shades of brown, a rusty brown with some cream in it. And I did like it, but I really wanted to see it in person to see if tone-wise it would match the blanket. So I didn't buy anything from the internet. But at Joann's, I did find Big Twist, which is Joann's house brand, and it is called Oatmeal. And I thought, because it is such a neutral color, that it would work really well with this. But when I put them together, it's not quite, you know? When I put it on this side, not quite. But I do have another project this will go really well with. I'll give you an update on that in a minute. So I'm still walking around through Joann's, and Karen, you know, with all those cake yarns, and now they're doing long color changes in a skein okay? And it's 100% acrylic, so like a lot of the Caron cakes are, they have wool in them, they have cotton in them, they're blends. But this, I thought this was perfect tone-wise, shade-wise, undertones, overtones, anything you can think of that has to do with colors. I thought this was perfect. So here we go. What do you think? With the colors, yeah? I think this was a better fit. And with that lighter shade of purple that's in here, I thought it would go really well with my shades of purple. So I found Caron Jumbo Ombre. Okay, and it's a nice big skein of yarn. It is 12 ounces or 340 grams, 595 yards or 544 meters. So yeah, this is plenty for me to do a border. I am going to start on that today. I will come back and give you guys an update on it really late in the day because I got a million other things to do today. The Premier Sweet Rolls. As a yarn, I really enjoyed working with it. Okay, I've done not just the spider stitch blanket, but I did a blanket called Jacob's Ladder, and that's where I used all the other colors. There's 18 colors that I used in the Jacob's Ladder, and I made it big. It's like man size. The blanket is really wide and it's really tall, but that's in my project pile. It is completely finished, and it has a border on it. I just was undecided on whether or not I wanted to keep it for my husband, but I actually have another blanket for him. So anyway, so I really like working with the Sweet Rolls. I find the yarn to be soft, and I find it easy to work with. It doesn't split, and it's just perfect for making blankets. So there you go. That's my mini yarn review. Okay, so late in 2017, and I finished up the body of it in 2018. Wrote a note to myself in 2019, did I need it to make it bigger? And here it is in 2023, and I'm going to finish it up. All right, 7 different colors of yarn, right? And 7 different cakes, but I only know the name of 2 of them that they still sell, Peaches and Cream and Birthday Cake. And one called Cappuccino that they no longer make, and then the others are, it's a free-for-all, who knows? My initial starting chain was 122 plus 2. I did 144 rows, and I'm at 30 ounces of yarn so far, right? Until I put the border on. And at 41 inches wide by 49 inches tall, which will change once I put the border on. So let's do an update on the other spider stitch blanket that I'm making, just because I need something to work on, because life got stressful and I needed something to relax with. I showed you guys this last Wednesday. It is Red Heart Super Saver in soft white, Bernat Super Value in a soft fern, which has been discontinued, then a soft white, then a soft fern, soft white, and then I went with this blue. It is from Big Twist, which is Joann's store brand, and it's a sky blue, but look, I think they work really well together. So I'm still in the process of making this one, which is, I think, this oatmeal color that I just bought the other day. I think this would go really well as a border on this. It goes well with the soft white, it goes well with the green, it goes really well with the blue. So there we go. I bought some yarn, and it has a job to do. It's not going to go into my yarn stash. Which, I'm being completely honest with you, I don't touch my yarn stash. I went through all of that weeks and days and months and purging, and I don't ever touch the yarn stash. Maybe just to try to finish up some projects, but that's about all I ever do with it. Then I'm starting to wonder why I actually have a yarn stash. All right, so that is my spider stitch blanket for today. That is my update for today. For everybody that is new here in the last week, thank you. I have been so humbled and so flabbergasted by the numbers in my YouTube analytics. Thank you guys so much. Y'all really seem to like the spider stitch blanket. You seem to like it as much as I do. So yes, we are definitely going to do a crochet along. But as it's early July, Summers can be busy with 3 teenagers in the house. I probably won't be able to do a crochet along until at least October. So that'll give you guys some time to plan out your color choices and do some yarn shopping. You know, when you do yarn shopping, or go through your own stash, use up what's in your yarn stash. We'll be making a spider stitch blanket together starting sometime in October. I will get more information to you throughout the summer, and mostly in September we'll firm up our details, okay? And we'll work up a little swatch together so everybody knows what they're doing, okay? I learned from being in other crochet groups on Facebook and doing crochet alongs there. I learned how to do swatches. You know, I think it was a brilliant idea to make sure everybody's kind of working with the same tension and figure out who needs to use a bigger hook, smaller hook, you know? All right, so that is it for today. I will, as I do the border, I will give you little clips and little updates, but you won't see that video until Wednesday, okay? And I'll see you guys then. Love you all. Bye. Sorry, forgot to tell you. I will put the link to my other spider stitch blanket video in the description below, because I'll give you the link. You go check out that other video, because in that other video, in the description box of that, is where I typed out the pattern, because I'm not typing it out again, and I'm sorry for that. It's a lot of work. So you have to go see the other video. The thumbnail is the pink and white blanket, okay? And it says spider stitch on it. In that description box, you will find the typed out pattern. And remember, I did put a note in there that my starting chain, the numbers could be off a little bit. All right, so I'll see you guys.